What up, though?
Hi, guys.
We're not supposed to say we back, but I mean, we've been gone for a little while, if we're being honest.
I told you to stop anyway.
You did, but we've been gone for like a month and a half.
And they know we're back, so.
Well, we rebranded a little bit because we had to introduce the podcast. Hey, the Kenny N Yesi Podcast, we here. You can find us on all of your podcast apps. All of them.
All of them?
All of them.
Really?
All of them.
Huh.
All of them.
All of them?
All of them. All of them. This podcast, it isn't one of those podcasts where we just talk about drama all the time. You know, there are some podcasts that just love to talk about drama.
What?
It's just drama. We ain't doing that.
Darn.
We ain't doing that.
I guess.
So, the cat is trying to climb on the desk. So, what we're going to be doing is what I like to call a positive sandwich.
Positive sandwich?
Yeah, because we start off with something negative.
What are you doing?
And then we'll talk about some lighter subjects. I wouldn't say positive, but lighter subjects. And then we'll end it with something serious or, you know, not as serious as the first thing we talk about today anyway. But you get it. The positivity is in the middle. So we keep the light stuff in the middle. So as to not bombard you with negative stuff. We actually have a really funny story to go through. But first, thoughts and prayers and condolences go to John Legend and Chrissy Teigen and their child who sadly was lost during the birth. That's rough. That's always rough. That is.
It is.
It's unbelievably tough. I wouldn't even be able to understand how tough that is.
And it's something people really don't talk about. And so I think it's a good thing that people are starting to talk about it now, because then more women don't feel alone in that time of loss and grief. Right.
And it'd be understandable, you know, the fact that she posted her post, which was on either Instagram or Twitter. I don't remember which one. But basically it was just a message to everyone who's ever been through something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
If you guys hear the AC, we need it. Trust me. It's a warmer day in the fall right now, for some reason.
I don't know how he's in a hoodie, but, you know, I'm not going to talk about that.
Because I like hoodies. I'm naked from the waist down. Oh, yeah. I got on shorts. I'm kidding. I got on shorts and slides, you know what I'm saying? She would never let me sit here naked from the waist down. But she posted just basically to say that if you're somebody who's gone through that same situation, you're not alone. You know, like, and she's a voice that has influence, has power. And to hear her speak on that topic is empowering to people who have been through it and felt like their voices weren't heard and that they didn't matter. And to hear that somebody, we won't speak his name because I hate him. I cannot stand this dude. To hear that he said anything negative, you know, he was just like, you just went through the hardest day of your life and you think to just post about it on social media. As if to say, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Chill out. Or something like that. Like, what? Thoughts?
I don't even know who this person is, and I already hate him. Like, that's just that's just how that's going. I know a lot of people think that, that grief for a lost child that wasn't born, or that wasn't born alive, and you didn't spend days with that child. You didn't watch that child grow. I know that a lot of people think that grief isn't, that big or that big of a deal, because they're like, how can you have grief and go through this very emotional moment, or days or whatever, without having really spent time with that child or having seen this child grow. Well, us as bystanders, as part of the family or whatever, we don't see the child. We don't feel the child. We don't have that interaction with the child that the mother has. The mother carried that child for however many months, that child was living in her. And so, no, she did not see this child with her very own eyes. She didn't touch the child with her hands, but she felt the child.
Right.
She felt the child growing in her. That child is part of her already. The connection is already there. And for someone to just blow it off, like, it's not that big a deal. Get over yourself. No, you get over yourself. Like, seriously. Like, you don't know what she went through. You just don't know. Because she did have moments with that child. No, she did not see the child with her eyes. No, she did not touch the child with her hands. But she had moments with that child. Like, the first time she felt the child move or kick, that's a moment. Especially if this was like her first child.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have kids already.
I mean, but any child, really. It doesn't matter if it's the first, second, third, whatever. But it still hurts. And I know that a lot of women, because of this, because of everyone else around them doesn't understand, and they can go about their day like, yeah, it was sad, yes, we know that this child should have been here with us, and sadly the child didn't make it. They are sad then, but they get over the grief real quickly, because they didn't feel the child. They didn't have those moments with the child. But it still hurts for the mom. And so a lot of moms who go through that don't express their feelings, don't talk about it. I know my mom had a stillbirth. My sister, she lost her baby, and so I've experienced it with, family members. And so I know that they, shut down. They don't talk about it because it's not as real, as present to everybody else. And I know they feel alone. I know for us it was really hard for my sister's, baby who didn't make it. And we felt that grief for a while. But we know that we didn't feel it as long as my sister did. So, for someone like her that can reach millions of people in one message to tell them, I know what it feels like. It's okay to feel that way. You're not alone. It's just, it's one of the best things she could have done. Because to keep it to herself and not let anyone know, and not let people know that, she's with them in their grief.
Right.
And in that moment, it's kind of like you have this popularity, all these people seeing you, and you're not using it for a good thing. But she is. She let us know. She let women and others going through this that she's there for them.
Right. And she didn't have to.
And she didn't.
She could have just folded in on herself and like it would have been perfectly fine for her to do so.
Right, exactly. I think it takes someone very, very strong to be able to, in a moment of pain and suffering, to like be able to open up to the rest of the world and be like, yes, I'm hurting. Yes, I'm vulnerable. But I'm here for you.
Right. Right. It's just weird, It's weird also because it was a dude.
Right.
It was a dude saying that. Like, you ain't got not one piece of room to say anything on this subject.
Exactly.
Like, unless you're showing support, you need to shut up.
Right.
Because the moment something happens in his life, he's going to be all over TV, all over YouTube, all over Twitter and Instagram talking about it.
Right, exactly.
And he's going to expect support from his supporters. Meanwhile, he's saying this about Chrissy.
Mm-hmm.
So he should shut up. Period.
Right. And I'm pretty sure that also part of her wanting to get it out there right away was that she's someone famous. She's a public figure. It was going to leak out no matter what she did.
Yep.
So she wanted to be there and be able... She's getting in my backpack.
Cats.
She wanted to be able to be the one to put it out there. To be like, this happened. This happened. Yes, it's hard, but I'm here. I'm here, with my pain, and I'm here for you.
Yep. And like I said, she didn't have to say anything.
No, she didn't.
And speaking of saying something, there was a zoo that had parrots in it that were cussing up a storm at the visitors. Can you imagine walking into a zoo and hearing, get the out, get the out. Like, they had to remove the parrots because they were cussing at visitors. Had to remove them. And they thought at first that it was the visitors that were teaching them. They were hearing visitors saying it and stuff like that. So they moved them to keep it from, being just an adult scene instead of being PG for everybody. And they put them somewhere else and they're all still cussing. And I think they even ended up separating them and they all still cussing wherever they are.
Oh man, they're a bad influence to any other birds they come in contact with.
Oh my gosh. Just, can you imagine? Like, imagine having a pet in a cage. You walk by it every day. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And sometimes parrots, they actually mock the inflection too.
Right.
So they say that shit with conviction. That is crazy.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy to think about that. See? Positive sandwich.
Oh man. I know my mom used to tell a story where some family member, I think it was her grandma or someone, had a parrot. And this parrot would just let you have it. In Spanish too.
Dang.
Yeah. She was like, man, that bird. No, it was my grandma. So her mom. But she taught him the stuff that he was saying. And it was like, oh my goodness. I could see it too, because the stories my mom tells about my grandma, she was a hoot.
I would love to hear a parrot talking a different language. And cussing in Spanish? Oh my goodness. Yeah. That would be hilarious. I laugh now when I hear humans cuss in Spanish. Because it's just so, like, it's still new to me, even though we've been together so long. It's still new to me.
Well, I'm usually not cussing up a storm
not in Spanish. In English, though?
Whatever.
Hey, whoa. I know. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that story in because that was hilarious. And I don't even know where that was. I don't have a clue. In the UK. So they were doing it in a British accent.
That would have been like double hilarious.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. That's hilarious. Speaking of something else that's kind of hilarious, but not really. It's not really hilarious, but it's like, it's funny in a weird way. It's not a good thing. We're not condoning it. It's not a good thing, but it's funny in a weird way. Kris Jenner, in September, according to the Shade Room, she was being sued for sexual harassment by her ex-bodyguard. Kris Jenner. How old is she? She like 60 something? 64.
Well, isn't she always trying to act like her so young, like her daughters?
Yeah, I mean, I guess she basically Kim, but older, or Courtney, but I don't know. I don't know who these people are. I just know Kim and Kris. That's it. Kylie, I guess. I don't know if she's a Kardashian. Maybe she is.
I don't know. Don't look at me.
Sexual harassment.
That's just terrible.
This dude said she was grabbing on his stuff, filling them up.
That's gross.
Yeah. And what's crazy, she was also, according to them, we ain't saying for sure on nothing, all right? According to the article, he also said that she had a problem with his race. He's black. But she's also filling them up at the same time. So it's kind of almost like an old back in the day master-slave situation.
Well, I'm glad he's speaking up.
Right. I mean, he should.
Right, because, I mean, a lot of men don't feel like they should. Because of the whole... Macho man. Yeah. The double standards and whatnot.
It's very, what's the word they use? Toxic masculinity? It's toxic masculinity to think that men shouldn't speak up on the topic.
Right.
Happens to dudes just as much as it happens to women, in my opinion.
Right.
Like from what I've heard and experienced, yeah. Women be out here. Just like the dudes.
Yeah. And sadly, it's like, the women who do that stuff, they're like, I can get away with it because I'm a woman. And
exactly.
That shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Which is like, it's that way with a lot of different subjects too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, because women have never been equal to men in the eyes of society. Men have always been seen as like up here, women down here. And that's why men get paid more, women get paid less. Like, and men's sports are pushed harder than women's sports. That kind of stuff. But at the same time, legally speaking, women have always been up here. At least since since society changed.
Since women's rights.
Women have been up here and dudes have been right here. Like, it's flipped when it, like, entertainment and roles in society, gender roles and stuff like that, dudes are on top. But legally, women are always on top. Never gonna understand that. Why can't everybody just be equal all the time? In every aspect.
Yeah, well.
I know.
What is equality?
If I get a quarter, you get a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I live in a box, you live in a box too.
Well, we're married, so we would live in the same box.
Facts. If I'm eating out of a shoebox, guess who else eating out of the shoebox?
Man, that box better be a big box, because you and I together in a box.
Keto.
Well, it's going to have to be in a few months, because
so
far.
It ain't going to have nothing but a couple of hot dogs in it. That's all it's gonna be.
No. I meant like the box we're living in.
Ah. Yeah, that's a hell of a box right there.
Right?
Gonna be bigger than this desk. That's what she.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he spoke out. I really am.
Right. Because he should have.
Right. No one should have to, put up with that at work. Like, it's already work. Do you really want to be at work? No, you don't.
Thank you.
And then to have that happen, ugh. No.
I know from stories that I've been told and previous experience that this shit happens all the time to dudes at work. Don't matter how old you are, it happens.
It's terrible.
I don't get what it is. I mean, maybe she was flexing her power over him because she's his boss. She pays him or whatever. She's a millionaire and all that, but that don't give you the right.
Right.
If that gives her the right, then Cosby should be out in these streets. R. Kelly should be free to walk the streets. You name it, they should be able to walk the streets. Right. Like, no.
He better get some justice for this, because if he doesn't, it's just the whole double standards.
She better at least pay him a couple million.
Something.
Some.
If he doesn't get, legal justice, at least monetary. Shoot.
She can settle out of court. I would let her settle out of court. Oh, you want to give me 10 mil? I'll shut up. I want my money, though. I want it all up front.
You're right.
And when the tax time comes, you paying the taxes on it. Pay me. You got it. I don't even know if they can tax. Can they even tax money like that you win in the settlement?
I don't know. It's our government. They probably taxing it too.
True, they taxing the air we breathe.
They tax everything. No, double taxation. Oh, really? So, I'm paying taxes on my paycheck, and then I gotta go pay taxes on whatever I'm buying or paying with my paycheck that has already been taxed. And it was taxed before that because the employer got taxed for it too. Like.
And then. The store you paid it to, they gonna get taxed on the same money.
How many times was that taxed?
Triple. At least.
Okay, the employer gets taxed. I get taxed in my paycheck. And then the store, I get taxed there. And then the store gets taxed. So that's 4 times. And then the employer probably got taxed. No, the person, whoever paid the employer probably got taxed. So that's 6 times. For sure, no, 4. For sure 4, 5, maybe.
And that's not even mentioning the fact that you ain't just shopping at one place. You need gas. You need clothes. Entertainment. All this stuff got tax on it.
And then if you look at your receipt, you don't just have one tax. You got the state tax. You got the who knows what tax.
You got the blow it out your butt tax.
You at least have 2 taxes on that receipt.
Might would you hand your wallet over?
And that's pretty much what we do every time we get paid. Like, here you go. It was nice seeing it in the bank.
Tax time too.
Yeah.
Gone. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and please follow the podcast as well, because we could use the money.
We could. With all that taxation,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, our tax system is ugly. Ugly.
Anyway, guys, we weren't supposed to be talking about taxes, So,
She didn't let me transition. I was trying to transition. She didn't let me.
you were still talking about Texas being ugly.
I said ugly. I was leading into the next story.
Oh, I thought we were leaving.
No.
What's it? Okay, commence.
I told about all this content
Proceed.
days ago. Anyway.
Continue on.
Texas grand jury indicts Netflix over Cuties movie. Alleges film sexually exploits minors. We, as in Kenny and Yesi, Yesi and Kenny, us, we are never going to watch this shit.
We watched the trailer just to see what we were going to talk about. It was disturbing.
I would,
to say the least,
never let my daughter get on no. I wish somebody would approach me talking about, oh, she gonna be wearing a crop top and a little skirt and doing the twerk and say what? There is no way in hell. I don't know who the parents are of these little girls, but their morals need to be questioned.
Right along, making money.
Right along with Netflix. Right along with the person who made the movie, the lady who made the movie. They all need to be in question over this.
It was disturbing, very. Like, I felt wrong just watching just the little clip that we watched. Like, I felt like, why are we watching this?
I know.
Like, it was disgusting just watching it. Like,
it's just, it should never be on TV. First of all, it should never be accessible to the world. Nothing like this should ever be accessible to the world.
Right. I mean, I know that it was like filmed and stuff and made in France or somewhere in France or whatever.
France, yeah.
But I mean, their norms and whatever are way different to ours. But still.
Like, it shouldn't grace Netflix then. Netflix is global.
Right. Like, we as a nation were more conservative about that kind of stuff and what's like on TV and stuff. But still, like even for them, I don't think that was a good thing. Like, I don't think so.
Not at all. And we know that these things exist in the world. We're not stupid.
Right. It's not like we're trying to just, like, pretend like it doesn't exist. Like, yes, we know it exists. Yes, we shouldn't just, like, live in a bubble and pretend like it doesn't exist.
Right.
But we shouldn't be putting it out there on TV for everyone to just, like...
At all.
Because when we start doing that, and more people start watching it, and it starts becoming okay to watch it, it starts becoming acceptable in society. And that's not what it should be. Like, are we regressing in the whole child...
It feels like it. It feels like it. I
thought we had gone through the whole thing of child rights. Like, what happened? We're regressing. I guess we're starting to give people more excuses and more rights. And so, by that, just throwing the kids under the bus. Because isn't it LA or somewhere in California or other? That they're what is it? They were gonna pass a law, or they passed it. I know someone was passing a law that it would make it okay, or it would lower the sentence or the punishment for people who engaged in sexual acts with children who are willing. Yes. It's like, how is that even possible? children are willing because they don't know what they're getting into. Because they've been messed with in the head to feel like it's okay. No, children aren't capable of making the decision whether they're willing or not. Like, why? And we're not just talking about children like, you know, how here I think in Illinois, in the court system, children can decide or be tried as adults once they're like 17 or whatever. Like, we're not talking about like they're talking about children like 17 or 16. No, they're talking about children that are younger. Like younger.
So all those sick bastards that go to court and say the child came on to me and the kid's like 11.
Oh, they're calling it a sexual preference. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that going for children is a sexual preference now.
Then I guess it's a preference for them to eat my fist if they come towards one of our kids. Man. Or any kid that I see. Let me see a predator going after any child. Fist.
It's just ridiculous how these lawmakers are getting away with this and people are just fine with it. Like protest that.
Sexual preference.
Like, well, seriously, protest that.
We're going to continue talking about that when the camera cut off. Because, hell no. What? They actually trying to say it's a sexual preference.
Yes. They sure are. They sure are.
So eventually it's going to be to the point where we're just desensitized to the shit and they're just going to be able to
do whatever.
Have sex with kids like, well, the kid wanted it, so.
Yeah. I really don't understand what's going on. I really don't.
The day we move to Canada will be the day when we hear about a state dropping the legal age to consent. We're going to be in Canada the very next day. The very next day. Because kids can't consent with adults. Not possible.
With anyone, really. They're children.
True.
They don't know. They don't understand.
True. I'm just saying. You know who takes advantage of kids in that situation? It'd be adults usually.
Oh, I know.
Or at least kids who are older. Like older teenagers. Speaking of teenagers, we gonna end it on this story right here. Benadryl makers beg parents to beware TikTok challenge after Oklahoma teen reportedly dies of overdose on Benadryl. There was this challenge. I don't know if it's still going on. This article is from August 31st. But it was going on a while before the article came out. Teenagers were going on TikTok after having taken like 10 Benadryl. And the idea was to take the pills, fight off sleep, so they would start tripping as if they were on acid or LSD or whatever. Only it doesn't work that way. That's not how Benadryl works. Benadryl is just going to kill you. Or make you really sick. You might hallucinate, but it'll be from the fact that you're sick, not because you're tripping. And apparently, there were several who tried it. And one died. And that's the power of an influencer, because it started with an influencer. I don't know her name. Don't want to know her name. But she started it.
Was she a teenager too?
Yeah, probably. She was young. She took them, talking about, I just want to feel something. And she took them. It was on social media, talking about how it made her trip and all that. And it's just like, when you can reach millions of people, why do you waste your voice telling them something that can kill them?
I don't understand. I really... Oh my goodness. For those people, like, just saying, I wanted to feel something. How about go do something that actually is going to make you feel something? Like, go volunteer at an animal shelter. That's going to make you feel something.
If not, you're a psychopath.
Go, I don't know.
Skydive.
Like,
scuba diving.
Volunteering for the shelter doesn't require any money. You just show up and, hey, I'm here to volunteer. They're always willing to take someone to help, you know? Like, it's just aggravating. And it's like, I know right now you can't, but go volunteer at a children's hospital where they have children who have cancer. Like, right now you can't, I know. But this thing has been going on for how long? For a real long time now.
Yeah.
Go volunteer at a nursing home.
Might as well say the thing has been going on since the beginning of the year. Like, there's no reason why you haven't found something to do right now. It's almost been a year. In a few months, it'll been a year since we've been dealing with this.
Right, it's like, go do something worthwhile that really is going to make you feel something. Something real, not some fake stuff. And it also aggravates me that these kids have so much knowledge, so much power at their fingertips. They always have a phone with them. No one can say no, because I've seen little kids with phones, like, glued to the screen.
24/7.
Like, seriously, you have a screen in front of you. Google. Like, those people who, you know, just listen to an influencer and like, oh, I'm gonna do that too. Use Google before you do anything stupid like that.
What will 10 Benadryl pills do to me if I take them all at once?
Do that before you go do something stupid. Like, I mean, Benadryl can kill a person, an adult, a grown adult. Like,
too many Benadryls will make me very sick. Like, I took 2, and then I think I was sick, like I had a cold or something. So I woke up like a few hours later and I took 2 more. They were like 6 hours or something like that. You were supposed to take them. Mm-hmm. I think I woke up like 4 hours in. I woke up and I took them because I'm like, I took them and I was messed up.
Well,
nightmares and everything.
Well, I remember my mom. Was it last year? I think it was last year. Yeah, it was kind of like in the summer.
Yeah.
Well, we think that she got into some poison ivy in her garden because she loves to garden. And we think she got into some poison ivy. So she was like itching really bad. So she took 2 Benadryl. Well, she was itching so bad that she felt like terrible. Like, she's like, I wanted to rip my skin off myself. And so, like, probably not even an hour after, she took another 2. Well, she started feeling bad. Like, she said her heart was racing. She started getting cold sweats. She was feeling like she was going to pass out. Luckily, she made herself throw up. That is what saved her. She made herself throw up, and she yelled for my sister and told her to take her to the ER. My sister got her there. The doctors actually thought that she was trying to commit suicide. Because why does an adult person take more than the recommended amount of Benadryl. Well, she explained it to them, and she showed them where she had the rash. And they were like, oh, never, ever, ever do that again. To this day, she's afraid of Benadryl. She will not take a Benadryl. Because she's afraid that that's going to happen again. She says she thought that she isn't going to make it.
That's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, really, don't play with medicine at all.
If an influencer tells you to do something, don't do it. No, don't do it if it sounds like it could be dangerous.
And if you are so inclined to do so, Google it before you start doing anything.
Or ask a parent.
Right?
I mean, that's pretty easy.
Yeah. Hey, Ma, what do you think about this?
If I take 10 Benadryls, what you think gonna happen? You gonna get slapped in the face, but, you know. Or she might just be like, you trying to kill something? Right. Maybe it's a talk you need to have.
Exactly. Or your dad. Or your grandma, grandpa.
Anybody that loves you.
Yes.
Like, really loves you. Not a friend that wants to see you do some stupid stuff.
Right.
Now, this Benadryl challenge is, I'm going to read this from this article. It is the latest in a long list of dangerous challenges to be issued via TikTok, which includes the Skull Breaker Challenge, 2 people sweeping an unwitting third person's legs from beneath them mid-jump, the Outlet Challenge, touching a coin against the exposed prongs on a plug semi-inserted into a socket, the Cha-Cha Slide Challenge, driving one's car to the lyrical instructions, the Pass Out Challenge, restricting one's own airway until unconsciousness. And there are many more of them, apparently. So at some point, they were out there driving their cars to the Cha-Cha Slide, endangering not only themselves, but everybody else. Maybe TikTok should be banned. But it ain't going to stop it. Still going to have Twitter, still going to have Snapchat,
right,
Facebook, you name it.
So many social medias, and it's just ridiculous. It's like our society has been stripped of common sense. Like, what is that?
Sense ain't coming.
What is it?
Common sense?
Yeah.
Should I explain it?
Maybe.
Alright. Common sense is a fictional thing that characters in books have sometimes. It means that they do things that are practical and not really risky. That's common sense. It's fictional, though. Only book characters. Not even movies and stuff like that. Just books.
So I'm just talking nonsense because I read a lot.
Yeah, gibberish. Gibberish to the rest of the world. Everybody who don't read books don't know what common sense is. They don't know what you're talking about.
Because it's fictional and only appears in books.
There you go. There you go. And we're not, it was a joke. We're not saying that if you don't read, you don't have common sense. Relax. But that's going to do it. That's going to do it. That's our first episode of the Kenny N Yesi Podcast. How you feeling? Our longest episode ever on YouTube. And probably the longest podcast episode we ever made. Like out of the other podcasts we had together.
Oh.
It's probably our longest episode. But we want to say thank you for listening and watching.
Thanks.
Being part of this. You know, we hope to see you next week. Same time, same place.
Yes. We appreciate you. Take care.
Stay safe.
Please stay safe.
Stay safe.
Don't listen to people on TikTok.
And if you're on YouTube, check out our other videos and subscribe.
Yeah. Hit that thumbs up.